What puppy? Yes, it's a free reading. Mental disorder, when will she be cured? Okay. I'll have to tell you that sometimes the cards are cleared, sometimes they're not cleared. But we will ask and see what they will say. Okay. The first card is the King of Cups. Second is the King of Wands. The third is the Fool. I will read from this booklet. It's a practice of mine to read from the booklets, and then I will give my interpretation along with what the booklets say. Okay, we start with the King of Cups. This is healing with active compassion. Okay, this is King of Cups. I bring activity and mastery to the waves. I also stir them up and create their turbulence. I cause the rain to hammer down and springs to become heated. I allow water to boil and be purified. And steam to rise up. It is through action, not passivity, that water attains its most powerful qualities. Excuse me. When emotion and feeling is passive, it can it cannot go out into the world to do any good. Yet when all these things are active, emotion can act and be extended. And so the tears of the Bodhisattva become a desire to aid another. Mine is the power of active compassion, the power to see pain and suffering and heal it, purify the wounded and injured, and guide the lost soul in times of trouble. I have attained the Holy Grail, mastered all aspects of the emotional world, and have nothing left but to give it to others in turn. Healing emotional wounds, active compassion, care for others, a father figure, emotional activity, anger, heated feelings, mastery of emotions, purity of emotion, a spiritual and caring person with great depth, a guide and therapist, a peaceful, loving individual with strong family values. Okay, so what this first card is indicating with your cousin from the mental disorder and seeking a cure, or when will she be cured, really would depend on how much work can be put towards her, right? How much the therapist and how much the doctors can work with her with her condition, depending on her condition. Um, I myself work with my doctors and my counselor, weekly, monthly, and so on, um, to make progression with my mental disorder, um, to work towards a better life for every day. So it would depend on what your cousin is going through with her mental health and how much work she's willing to work with the doctors and the therapists and everything like that. So what this card is saying here is that um, healing emotional wounds is very, very, very important for her right now, and she needs support from family. Hello, Heart Heat Journey. If you will hold on, I'm in the middle of reading for someone right now, and I'll be right with you. Um, there's the purity of emotion. A spiritual and caring person with great depth and guide in the therapist is a peaceful, loving individual with strong family values around her is very important right now. Uh, so hell, okay. Let's get to the next card, which is the King of Wands. All right, the King of Wands. This is the center of the sun. Okay, the center of the sun. The strongest desires burn with most heat. The strongest of wills burn. Uh, hey, Jakari, welcome back. If you can just hold on just for a second, I'm right in the middle of a reading with Sohel, and I will get with you in just a moment, okay? The strongest desires burn with the most heat. The strongest desires burn with the most heat. The strongest of wills burn brightest, and heat always rises. Um, I am the highest. I am in the height of my very self, the pinnacle of everything that is possible, the achievement of all things. I am everything that I ever wanted to be and more. I am the master of all. The four worlds are at my fingertips. All skills are in my knowledge. I have seen the world and I have heard all its songs, met all its people, loved fiercely and deeply, adventured beyond the limits of my perception. There is nothing I cannot do, nothing I do not want to do. I live on it. I thrive on it. I am God incarnate, seated upon a sunlit throne, the center of the universe. I burn as brightly as the midday sun. Once you have beheld me, you will never forget me. The strongest, most passionate desires need to consume experience, mastery of everything, a charismatic leader, shining confidence, being at the center of the universe, eccentricity, the master of the self, the selfish, outgoing person who must be the center of attention, pinnacle of achievement. Let's look at it from this, Sohail, for your question for your cousin. Um, I think there's the idea of pinnacle of achievement. So the pinnacle of achievement would be for your cousin to be okay with their treatment, to focus on that and to truly work with everyone in their family, with themselves, with the doctors and with the therapist, right? And to get that for a to work towards that cure, right? uh, so that I'm so sorry for that, Nikul. uh, I'm in the middle of a reading right now for someone, and I have another person in queue for that. And I will get to you in a moment, but I just want to acknowledge you, and lift you up in my thoughts and understand you are going through what you're going through, but you're not going. Uh, don't feel like you're going to die. You're not going to. Okay, you're not alone, and everything like that. Okay, I just want to acknowledge that for you. So Hill, with your cousin going through that situation for looking for the cure, and everything, I just want to let you know that there is definitely the pinnacle of achievement. So you know working with and sticking to and being supportive and everything is very important. Last card in the reading, the Fool, and let's get on with that. Okay. All right, here we go. The infinite possibilities of chaos. Just hold on. It'll make sense. It'll pop in there. Okay. Before the beginning was even a seed of an idea in the mind of God, it was my step that trod the virgin paths of the center of the sun. What did I desire? Nothing, and everything. And I am the blank slate waiting to be written upon, a cup waiting to be filled. Yet we cannot wait at our point of origin and hope that illumination will find us. We must take the first step, and only then will the path begin to unfold before us. I stand at the center of all possible paths in the universe, and yet even I must take one step. It is that single step that pushes me headlong into the life, immerses me in the wonders and trials of the world and all it has to offer. And I take it all gladly, joyfully, because all is experience and none of it may be discounted. Some will tell you to look before you leap, but I say take the leap. Do not limit yourself in fear and convention. Let me show you. Let me take your hand. We are here on the precipice of the journey, at the edge of reason and the edge of possibility. Don't be afraid. Only have joy in your heart and laugh as you feel the cliff edge falling away from you. It is done and cannot be undone. Welcome, fair fool, to the journey. Okay, so themes and concepts here that we're looking at: potential, the chaos before actuality, new beginnings, innocence and naivety, childishness, taking the first steps on a long journey. A journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Newness, the blank slate, innate joy in life, being a traveler through life, standing on a precipice of change, removing fears so you can move forward. Freedom, the state before the journey begins. Okay, so Hill, with the purpose of looking into what you're asking about your cousin, very good news for you in this respect. I believe very much in the journey of 1,000 miles, right? It sounds like a lot, but it's not, because it's that first step moving forward. It's very much the first step moving forward, right? All things have a beginning. They have a purpose. And I know it sounds like a lot and it sounds cruel. You know, of course you want your cousin to not be suffering. No one wants that for anybody. But in your case, I really believe very much that um, with you being a good cousin and you care for your cousin, and I'm sure other members of your family care for your cousin as well, if you show the love and support that your cousin needs, okay, that your cousin needs, then she will know that the light surrounding her will give her the courage and the strength she needs to get better. Okay? So keep and bear that in mind and just keep moving forward with her. And a cure could come into being, into form with her. So hell, I hope that makes sense for you. I hope that that is a guide for you. And I wish you and your family and your cousin especially blessings from God, blessings from the light of the universe, and all things moving forward with all of you. I hope that all made sense for you. I hope he's still here. If he wasn't, then
Hale made a trip to Montana with knowledge after graduating from Harvard, master's in Cambridge in European history. Tonight, Jessica Ross, Mara Gay, Joe Crystal, and Elise Cruz again as your Secretary of State.
I think Sohail left a long time ago, but oh well. So Jakari, I will get to your reading now. Will you have a girlfriend soon? Let's go ahead and ask the cards that question for you, my good sir. And your first card will be the King of Pentacles. Okay. Second is the Six of Wands.
As a approach them and say, give us
And your third card is Justice. Oh, there you are, Sahel. I hope that did you get your full reading? Did you understand your reading? I hope that made sense to you. You are welcome, and love back to you from Texas. All right. Um, Sir Jakari, we'll start your reading now. Asking about a girlfriend. And here we go, my good sir. Starting with the King of Pentacles, the Master of the World. All right. To conquer should never be an end in of itself. To possess something should never be a true goal, but a means to an end. I have worked to find a place in the world where I can be master of all I survey. I have conquered a great many things and amassed a great deal of fortune. Yet it is not so that I might enjoy them as things in themselves. Possessions can become gifts, wealth can become security, possibility, status, generosity, charity, and comfort. I enjoy all of the finest things in life because they represent what we all want. I am therefore the richest man in the world, not because of my wealth, but because of the joys I find in my community, my family, my loyal friends, my security, my comfortable home, and my well nourished body. So, let that soak in for a moment there. Let's look at the themes and concepts, the further readings of what this card symbology wise stands for. Financial mastery, business ownerships, right? Gregariousness, enjoying the finest things in life, riches, wealth. Riches is a means to an end, using possessions for the highest good, a community leader, a generous person, somebody with a high status, a jolly and friendly person of good nature. Will you have a girlfriend soon? So the type of person you're probably looking for is someone who is a friendly and good-natured person, someone that matches you in respect of what you put forth of your own qualities. You would like to have that rescinded back to you. I think that's a standard operating procedure for anybody looking for a mate. You want what you put out to come back to you. This the philosophy as old as any of us. What you give out, you wish to receive. What you put forth, you wish to reap back in return. So you shall give, so you shall get. It is the oldest law known to all of us, my friend. And it is the one that we should be most aware of, and most especially in the name of our God, whichever God in which we choose to serve. We should be most aware of that. You reap what you sow. and so you shall reap it in all of its benefit, in all of its many forms. And when you choose your mate, you want that mate to be your partner in all ways, in all forms, in all shapes. And she should be cleaved unto you, they say in the scripture. And I believe that um, soulfully and spiritually as deeply as anything that can be written by any hand, seen or unseen. And so it shall be written, and so it shall be done and spoken, and so forth and so on. I can completely agree with that. Somebody with a high status could be anything, not just money or wealth or power or any of that. Money and power and wealth can be anything. It can be interpreted in many different ways. So this lady, this person, this female you seek uh, to be with, this idea person for you, is someone who's going to have your back, you know, in every way, shape, or form. She is going to be. Think about Solomon from the Bible, right? Okay, Solomon had all these different wives, but not. Don't think of it from that point of view. Think about the status that Solomon had. Okay, Solomon had all these different partners, and they had their different talents and their different aspects and things that gave Solomon what he needed to have, right? Okay, and that's what a person seeks in a relationship, is someone to give them something that balances them out. So that's what this card is telling you right now. You want that person that's going to balance Jakari out, smooth you out in all the good ways. Let's go on to the next card. Okay, I'll get right back to you in just a moment. Um, so, Hill, let me finish up with Jakari here. Six of Wands, Jakari. Excuse me, Six of Wands. 6 of Wands, and here we go. Here we go. This is the heroic return of the Sun King. From the fierce contest of wills and the competition of strength, fresh from the battlefield and arrayed in the light of 1,000 suns, I ride forth into my kingdom in triumphal procession. I have overcome the finest warriors and the most cunning magicians for this position. It is now mine by divine birth and right. I came from my mother's womb already a hero, bursting with light and blessing, and I tested my strength and desire through many hardships and years. Only the best may rule, only the wisest and most powerful, power given by virtue of proof. I am king for the virtues that make me king. My will is the strongest, my achievements the greatest, my ambition the most high. I swear to protect my people. Rise up against the enemy when the horn of battle sounds. Give them a voice and allow the light of 1,000 suns to shine as brightly upon them as it does upon me. So, triumph and victory, achievement being the best, outshining others, gaining the admiration of others, being lauded for your efforts, becoming a leader, showing by example, being a hero, being placed upon a pedestal, hero worship. Let's look at this and say that this young lady you would be looking for would be the type of person who is a leader, someone that you feel like you yourself are a leader. You see yourself as a leader, so maybe this person you would seek is the kind of person that you are. It's like holding up a mirror, right? And you turn that mirror out, and this would be the person you're looking for. There's another saying um, about the man who went out in the streets with a lantern looking for the best person. No, 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 no. So, hell, I'm talking about Jakari. I'm talking about Jakari's reading. I'm still doing Jakari's reading, not yours, sir. I'm sorry. So, Jakari, there's that saying of the man going out in the streets with a lamp looking for one good soul, right? And so, this lady you will be looking for, so, right? The one good person. And this person would be that type of person with you, holding that lamp, right? Because she's a leader, or she has leading qualities, right? Head on a shoulder. Now we're going to look at our friend Justice here, the card Justice, and see what that has to say. This is the scales of cosmic balance. All right. For every action, there is a reaction. For every cause, there is an effect. I stand in the very center of all consequences, the still yet dynamic process by which the balance of the universe is maintained. I am the fulcrum. The tiptoe stand at the center. Some say I am blind, but I see all. I do not judge, nor do I give value to one thing over another. I simply calculate, for the universe is one great calculation. Know the formula, and you will see how one thing gives way to another. The creation of something will always require displacement of another, and the subtle balance of your world depends upon nature, red in tooth and claw, playing its role as swift creator, preserver, and destroyer. In my cosmic scales, you may find a reflection of your own justice, and in that, you must also know that all your deeds have a consequence and a price. You tip the scales one way or another with every movement of your being, every moment of your being. But do not let the talk of morality and law confound you. To guard, you must first understand that you too stand at the fulcrum of the cosmic balancing act, and that you are a part of the web of cause and effect, action and reaction, tied to every living being upon the earth. This web cannot be broken, and knowing this, you might yet find your heart weighs in the balance of a feather in my scales and pass through the veil. Balance, adjustment, consequence of effects, weighing things up, being in the fulcrum of the balancing act, equilibrium, maintaining the center, justice, morality, and law and order. So, right. Okay, so here is where I see this in your reading. You found a girlfriend. Um, I say look at the balance of that situation right there. Okay, of what you're looking for. Look at the list, the pros and the cons, right? Of what kind of person you're looking for. Pros and cons are important. There's a reason why we have a pros and cons list. Uh, we keep a pros and cons list because we're human. And as humans, we make mistakes. all over the place. And there should be no vanity involved in this pros and cons list. I mean, you may accidentally, in this pros and cons list, cut out the person that actually might be the best fit for you. But at the same time, you may be spot on in your pros and cons list, and you may actually do yourself the best favor ever and cut the right person out because she's not the one you should be hanging with the most. You know what I mean? So it's one of those damned if you do, damned if you don't. Catch, catch 123 or whatever it's called. Things, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, caught in a rock and a hard place thing. It's all random fate and random luck, really. Jakari, that's the best I can give you. I am totally at the tap on that one. That's how it goes for all of us, my friend, when we are looking for that one mate, that one person, that one spark that catches the eye and says, "Oh my God, boom, that's the one right there." You know, he or she has got to be it. Then you find out maybe that's not the one, and you progress up the ladder until you do actually find that one final big bang spark that sticks with you for the rest of your days. And you want to have children and things like that. And then that's the special moment right there. So there you have it. Keep the eyes open, keep the spirit centered to sound, right? Like radar. Because your heart's going to go out there pinging. Ping, 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 ping. Oh, you're welcome, man. You're welcome. Always welcome. I will always try to do you right. Ooh. Excuse me. Itchy nose all day. Yes, Nicole. I'm sorry you haven't had a chance to have a reading yet. What were you needing, sir? You are very well. Hello, Carol Souza. From Brazil. Hello, from Brazil. I will, Sohail, but Nikuli has not had a chance to have a reading yet. I would like to give him one, if you don't mind. The outcome. Hi, Carol. Yes. I'm going to give Nikuli here a reading here really quick. He's not had a chance to have one yet. What was the outcome between us? Does he still love you? If y'all went through that terrible breakup and everything. Okay. Here is your first card. And then I will give one for you again. So Hill, and then Carol, if she would like to have one, will have one after that. Fixed. All right, Nicole, for you, your first card is this. It is the 9 of Wands. First card. Your second card is the Hermit. Oh, okay, Carol. Hang on just a second. I'll type something out. Prince of Pentacles for you, Nicole. No, get off. Get off. No, get off. Dang it. Sorry, I'm having trouble with my cat right now. She's trying to jump on top of us. No. Damn. Just a moment. I remember how many impeachment. It was a time before there was, then there were only 3 networks and we had all the same facts. Everybody agreed on the facts. We live in a bubble where you need to get off of these cards. I need you off. No. Off. I'm sorry. Listen to the facts. That was absolutely clear. That crimes were committed, that impeachable offenses were committed. The law is clear. And what we have to say now, as opposed to what we said in 98, because it was wrong in 98. Now we're taking an opposite position. That is wrong. It's just wrong. Re-engaging and Bad kitty. Sorry about that, folks. My cat wanted to lay up on top of where I store my cards at for each of the readings. I have returned to somewhat calmness here. Okay, for you, Nicole, I'm fixing to read your cards for you. Oh, evil, horrible monster. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. She's being very, very needy right now. I completely apologize. Nicole, are you still there? Nicole, are you still there? Okay, I'm sorry. I deeply apologize for my cat. She's being very needy. I'm going to read your first card for you, and it is the Nine of Wands. Okay? Okay, this is the strength of the will. All right? A true warrior fights, even with the gravest of injuries, yet he knows how to choose his battles carefully. You can feel the ache of a wound, know your weakness, and acknowledge the strength of your enemies, and this is your most dependable strength. The real battle does not take place in the gaps between the blades, but in the will and the mind of the warrior. When your will is strong and you wait, watching the tide of battle, awaiting the opportune moment for all of your conserved energy to be released towards your goal, then you are a true warrior. From here, you may act as the tide of battle flows, and no movement nor blow shall be wasted. Yet be prepared for the pain of the burn as you wait, as you maintain your defense, as your muscles protest for want of either stillness or action. And know that this pain you feel now serves to remind you of the most vital of all things: you are still alive. The wounded warrior, perseverance, strength of will, never giving up, fighting despite loss of injury, fighting a losing battle, conserving your energy for the opportune moment, being given no respite or let up, being in the eye of the storm, out of the frying pan and into the fire. So, wow. Okay, so Nicole, hmm, here's what I'm I see I see the fighting despite loss or injury. I can see this fighting. I can I can see that being in the eye of the storm situation here for you. I can see those two things very clearly. Um, and as you said, it was a particularly hurtful breakup, and you felt like you wanted to just end everything. So I don't know here on the first card if there's still that strong connection between the two of you, because it's still kind of rocky. That connection is still kind of moving around, because there's this stormy thing between the two of you still. It's still kind of raw and very volatile right now. It's still kind of there. Yeah, it's very shaky right now. If that makes any sense to you, there's still a lot of uh, raw feelings and things still humming around right now. So let's see what the second card says, okay, which is the Hermit.
That would be Star Trek. So, to the most point, is a slowly being trolled? Is irony dead? Is Shatner writing graphics at the government printing
The
office?
seed of insight in the darkness. Okay? All right. I have traveled a long way to be here in darkness, in the womb of the world, the great cosmic display of life, death and rebirth. Above us, stars die and are born, planets move, and the face of the universe changes forever. Beneath us, the earth shifts, lava flows, the worms consume decaying matter, and seeds spring forth. Right? Seeds spring forth. This is the primal dance, yet to mortals it is a mystery to be sought after, delved into, like a man shining light in a dark cavern. I am the way shower of this mystery, the guide along the roads you must walk if you wish for for revelation, excuse me. It is a small light, flickering and weak, yet in the depths of darkness into which we are going, it might as well be the light of the sun. You may ask why I am so alone. This is the way it must be. I must brave the darkness of eternity so that others might see the light. I am the one upon whom all eyes must rest, all else fails, and I am the one who will lead you out of the wilderness and the desert to the promised land. This light I carry is my burden and my blessing. I offer it with open hands to all, for it is the seed that will redeem the world. All right, so here we have an imparter of wisdom, a hermit or somebody who enjoys solitude, wisdom and loneliness, being alone, light in the darkness, guidance from within, the wisdom of another showing you the way, a helping hand, age and experience, shining your inner light for others to see, a spiritual truth that acts as a navigation point. So let's look at it from this way, okay? Um, there's guidance from within on this one, okay? Nicole, there's wisdom of another showing you the way. There might be some friends in your life that are helping you with this situation also. They might be telling you something and maybe it's hard to hear, maybe it's even really difficult to hear, but there might be wisdom in what they're telling you. Uh, and you actually might know this also, so it's maybe hard for you too, because you know none of this is easy when it comes to matters of the heart and everything. But maybe this person that you've been with and that you love may not always have all the best things uh, of your interest at heart. Maybe this person doesn't always support you as much as you need to be supported. Um, so there's these factors you have to think about. Is it worth all the fighting and the whatever that comes along with that? I can't answer that for you. Only you can. Uh, so keep all those things in mind. And let's look at the last card in your draw for you, which is the Prince of Pentacles. Okay. This is the Stone Guardian, the Prince of Pentacles. Some chase after the hands of fair lovers, renown, fame, and adventure, but only a fool does so before he has first sought a solid foundation. How can any of these things be obtained? Yes, ma'am, you are on the list. A fool does so before he has first sought a solid foundation. How can any of these things be obtained without the practical means to do so? They say youth is wasted on the young, and perhaps I am guilty of losing my years to slow and steady movement. Rather than rushing into life headstrong and reckless, Yet I will learn from history and the past mistakes of others and refuse to be doomed. And refuse to be doomed to the pitfalls that can be so easily avoided. I am the mind at its most stable, the careful plans and the slow progress towards actuality. Before any plans can reach fruition, your future investments must be protected and cared for. How ignorant to think that speed is the only measure of success. Protection, a loyal friend, somebody you can rely on, careful and cautious movement, a slow witted person, making careful plans, not rushing in, protecting your investments, loyalty to friends, seeking wealth and stability, the mind applied to everyday world. All right, so Nicole here with your situation with your mate that you're broken up with, and does he still love you? And you know, is that something you still want to pursue with him? My strong feeling on this reading is protection, of course. Uh, Somebody you can rely on, careful, very careful here, and cautious movement is needed. Um, Not rushing in. Okay, put some careful thought here. Does he love you? Most probably he does. But then again, what what will he give you in absolute benefit for you? I mean, I'm not saying he's a selfish person at all because I don't know this person. I don't know you. But in a lot of relationships, there has to be give and take equally, or it cannot be a really good relationship. I mean, that's just the facts of any relationship. When a person gets into one, they have to be able to know that they can depend on one another, and especially in relationships of our kind, Nicole. You know what I mean? Are especially hard because it takes a lot to maintain them and to keep them. I hope that this makes some sort of sense for you. I am not going to tell you whether you should keep this person, or take them back, or anything like that. That is not going to be a suggestion coming from me whatsoever. I think that has to be something that comes from you. Use your inner wisdom. Listen to whatever friends are around you. Uh, Listen to your heart. Listen to your soul. Listen to your experience in this situation. Let that be your guide. And if this is really the person for you, if this is your mate for life, then it's worth the fight. Only you know those answers. And I hope, in all sincerity, that this answered whatever question or questions you had. If not, then I sincerely and honestly and deeply apologize. If not, so Hill, if you're still here after I get a response from uh, Nicole, you're next. And after that is Carol. And after that, it is Titania. I know you're here. I'm just making sure. Let's make sure that Nicole got an answer that he wanted first before I get to your question. Okay, Carol, thank you. I just want to make sure Nicole was okay with his question. Then Tatiana. Anyone else?
If he rose up against her.
All right. So, Hill, what is your question again, sir? Was it about what degree path you should take after your bachelor's, right? All right. Got it. And all right. Excuse me? Okay. After so Hill comes Carol, and then there's Tatiana. So Hill, we're starting with your first card for your reading, and this is the wheel.
One of the unusual things about this impeachment process,
Followed by the Four of Pentacles.
is this question as to what evidence will be admitted, what witnesses will be heard from, and what is continuing to develop in terms of the factual record
And the Four of Swords.
about presidency. The trial started, raised a real red flag in a couple of public interviews right before the start of the trial. He basically said that the NSA and the CIA were withholding information about Ukraine, and he said explicitly to CBS News that the agencies were withholding that information on orders from the president. Now, this is the top Democrat on the Intelligence Committee in the Senate.
Okay, this is the wheel. The riddle of the constant change. Riddle of constant change. Here we go. I have a riddle for you. If you answer correctly, you may pass, where you will truly understand the nature of the universe and the precious wisdom of the tarot. There are four creatures of mighty power. One bears water. One bears water. One soars the heights. One has the strength of earth, and the other the presence of the majesty. What can be found between them? Riddles and gambling, ups and downs, emotional roller coaster, uncertainty, change, recurring themes, cycles. What goes around comes around. Being in the center of change, feeling dizzy. With change, questions, fate versus free will, concerns about destiny and life path. So, you're asking a question here, Sohail, is what's your next in line after your bachelor's, right? So, the wheel says to you then, you have concerns about your destiny and your life path. Good. Good that you have concerns about that. Because the second part of that would say to you then, there is going to be change. Cycles are moving around. So the change to the seasons kind of thing. For everything, there is a season. For everything, there is a time and a place. Everything has an order to it that must be followed in succession. So from your bachelor's, there must be something that follows in line in order to continue to order of that which it has been received. But what is it? We're going to find something in the second card that'll help give us a clue. And that will come from the Four of Pentacles. It's like a treasure hunt. Four of Pentacles. The ownership of power. What better feeling is there in the world than being able to count your blessings? To know what you have because you can see it, hold it, taste it, smell it. Not because you want to use it or spend it or even enjoy it for what it can bring you, but because you want to enjoy it because it's yours and nobody else's. You hold the power, and it is not any power, but your power. And it is not for giving away. It is most certainly not for doing just anything with. Look to your resources. Look to what you have built, and it shall be your shield and armor against all who would see you fall. You and I are the same in this. We know that only through our strength and defenses will we survive. Own your power, fellow castle builder, and you shall truly be a ruler of your world. Possessions and ownership, resources, and how you use them, strength and defense, power, and how you gain it and hold on to it, how you save or spend money, greed, acquisition, the things you have built with your resources. So, looking at this Sohail, right? Um, how do you gain something that you want? No, really, it's a good question. How do you gain something that you want? You wrote 3 papers. That's really good. That's excellent, even. So you write these 3 papers. They're in your bachelor's degree. You've published them. What were they about? What fields were they in? Or were they in a single field? What reactions did you get from them? What was the responses to these papers? I'm assuming they were good and positive, and they gave you a good insight into what area or areas of specialties you're best suited for. And if you can skip the line from out of your bachelor to go straight to a PhD instead of a master, where would you go first? Would you go the full route of masters and then the PhD? But if you can skip the line and go straight to PhD without the masters, because of the 3 letters you wrote and published, and you received some sort of accolade for them, and you got a good response from them in the academic world, in the area or areas in which you're interested in, you have to ask, what is it that you are wanting to get out of those papers? What do you want? What power do you seek? Yes? So think about it. Secondly, you have built something with your resources. What have you built with these 3 papers? Specifically, what kind of castle have you built? What foundations have you laid down? What is the dimensions and the properties of the building for which you have built? Will it stand? If they poke at it, will it stand firmly? Will the wind not come around and knock it down? It is unassailable. Yes? The logic is firm in it, correct? It must be. It must be. Final card in this puzzle. 4 of Swords. Four of Swords. The Thanksgiving of hearth and home. When you have planted your seeds in spring and worked the land in summer, tending and weeding, letting the warmth of the sun nurture your labors. In the autumn, you may harvest and enjoy the fruits of your work. It is a joy to set a strong foundation beneath your desire and see it grow in strength and beauty. It is the most beauteous thing, so set your will to the 4 corners of the known world and see it return 1,000-fold. Okay? Yet, when you have built a grand empire from the results of your labors, you must give thanks and make merry, and fill the walls of that empire with passion and love. Thanksgiving marks the acknowledgement of completion and results. Without it, nothing is truly complete. Nothing is truly complete. Thanksgiving, the harvest being brought in, completion of a project or goal, the foundations of your life, a happy hearth and home, the security of your life, will and desire being grounded in reality, results and manifestation of dreams, sharing success with your community. So here we go, Sohail. I just said it, right? I just said it, right? About your foundation, yes. About your building, yes. Will it stand? Can it stand? Can it stand? Your 3 papers, right? Thanksgiving, the harvest being brought in. Two very good things you have. Two very good things you have to look at on the question of what you're looking for. And then the thing that brings it home for you is the security of your life and the will and desire being grounded in reality. So, sorry about that, my friend. I had to sit up for a second. Ask yourself what you want from these papers that you've written. What are you, Sahil, looking for to get from these papers? What is your desire? What do you expect to get? If you can skip the line and go straight to the PhD, is that the wise move to make? Is that the building that you're going to build and will bring your harvest to you? Or is it better to plant the seeds in a different garden, let them grow through your master's program, and continue on to the doctorate later on? Which road gets you to where you want to get faster, better, more grounded? You'll have the answer for that one. You'll know which one it is. It'll resonate in you. It'll light up the path so very brightly that it'll make the most sense to you. You're the one who wrote those papers. You're the one that got that received the information from those papers from other people. They spoke to you. They told you the brilliance of these papers, right? Listen, hear what was spoken. Heed the words spoken to you. Do what you need to do. Now, I wish you light and God in that. Yes, you may ask now. Carol, this is the Nine of Swords. This is your first card for the question you are asking. Okay? All right. The second card is the Three of Cups. Okay, Three of Cups for you.
Now is
The next card is the Hierophant. Okay, hey, Tatiana, I'm right in the middle of doing a reading for Carol. So hold that thought, and when I'm done with her, I will get to your reading. Okay, I promise. But I promise I will get to your reading. All right. So I'm going to read very slowly for the first card for Carol. She's from Brazil, so I'm going to try to read as slow as possible so that she gets each of the cards and their meanings. Okay? 9 of Swords. That's the first card. All right. The 9 of Swords. The 9 of Swords, the things that go bump in the night. I had another nightmare again. It's the same one every night. The one where I'm falling, falling, falling into a pit of blackness and cold. I think I'm never going to reach the bottom, like I might just fall forever with the body, with nobody to hear my screams. But then I hit the earth and I'm dead. I'm dead and my body is already rotting. And I know that my skull has split open and all my thoughts are pouring out. And then I can hear them screaming in my head. Their voices are the voices of everything I have done wrong and the people I have hurt. I wake up sweating and frightened, pulling the covers up to my chin and sobbing, but there is nobody to comfort me. In the morning, when I am sleep deprived and restless, I consider telling others of the recurring phantasms that plague me. But I never do, because I think maybe I deserve the anguish. Maybe I'm guilty after all. All right, so the possibilities of this first card for you, Carol, in the question of your boyfriend to come back to you. would be this. He is to come back to you. There's the fear and anxiety in that. Okay? There's perhaps feelings of guilt with that. Okay? This is the first card. We will now look at the second card. The Three of Cups. Yeah, this is possible, Carol. Yes, this is possible. I understand that. But there could be worry worry and anxiety because he is indifferent to you. And so maybe you feel anxious of why of this feeling. Maybe. Hello, Bilibin. In just a little bit, you can. I'm in the middle of doing a reading for Miss Carol, then I have one for Miss Tatiana, and then I can possibly think about fitting in for you. All right, Cheryl. Three of Cups. Joy in abundance. There is not but happiness in the world, and existence is pure joy. There is no reason for sadness or disappointment, pettiness or despair, because life is a testament to bliss. Where there is joy, excuse me, there is no reason for sadness or disappointment, pettiness or despair, because life is a testament to bliss. Where there is sorrow or failure, joy is not absent. You must simply perceive differently to find her. Make every day a holiday, every act one of celebration, every word a song of triumph, and you will join us in the dance of the graces. But do not do it alone. Your jubilation serves a higher purpose when it is shared with others. Join them to reveal, join them to revel in the past. Create a festival of the present and welcome the future in all its potential with gaiety. Be in the moment. Be the joy you wish to see in the world and know the rich abundance of your life. Okay, let's think about that for just a moment. Happiness shared with others. Okay, so a feeling of grace and blessing, Carol. A feeling of a feeling of blessing and grace. I there.
Or former administration officials from testifying during the House's impeachment of April. 9 of those witnesses testified duly authorized subpoenas. The facts are straightforward and they're not in dispute.
Being in the moment also, Carol. Being in the moment. But yes, Tatiana, you are next. You are definitely next, my dear. You're definitely next. So, Carol, let's look at the next card for you in your set, and that would be the Hierophant.
It's an honor having you. Thanks for making time for us tonight.
The institution of the sacred, Carol. The institution of the sacred. Millennia have passed, and the lives of many men and women have come and gone. In their place, they left history, and in that history, they left a treasure house of wisdom. Okay? They left a treasure house of wisdom, experience, knowledge, and teachings. It is from this collected storehouse of past wisdom and knowledge that tradition arises, and the most effective means by which these traditions might be taught and accessed, organizations, institutions, such things were originally intended as a safe and stable environment for the passing on of tradition and the wisdom contained therein. When you step into my church, Wisdom Seeker, you step into the rich tradition upon which it is built. When you seek knowledge from me, you also take you also take your rightful place in a long line of all those other alkalites and neophytes. I am the messenger of that great and noble wisdom that millions seek, and which is offered to them every moment by those who have taken on the mantle of Hierophant and revealer of the sacred. I can show you the mysteries and hand you the keys to the doors of knowledge. But you must know that the receiving of traditional wisdom from a teacher is a necessary step to any true path of knowing. Excuse me. So, Carol, taking that in for just a moment, in response to your question, we've let that settle. And now let's look at what the card is saying. History, history, and learning from the past. Learning from the experience of others. History and learning from the past. History and learning from others. This is very important, Carol. I think you need to circle that phrase, history and learning from the past, History and learning from the others. This is very important. This ties your question very strongly. It just really ties up the entire question and the entire reading very strongly, and just really just hones it down for you. This is it. Look at the history of this situation between the two of you. And what does that tell you? And that gives you your answer, Carol. Has he left you before and come back? And if he has, he comes back again. If he has not, if something is meant to be, it's meant to be. If it is not, it is not. That is sad, and I know this. And it hurts to think like that, and it hurts to feel this way. I don't know what the circumstances are of why this person left, but you do. So I would think about that. You are welcome, and I wish to you blessings of God and light of the universe. To you, Carol. Actually, Billy, Tatiana is next, and then you're right after her. Hello, Jamie. So Tatiana, and then Billy. Yes, Jamie. But only after.
Been diagnosed with any type of lung cancer in the past few years. Even if you smoke, your cancer may be a result of exposure to these toxins, and you may be entitled to significant compensation.
She'll probably pop back on here in a second. There she is.
Smokers whose risk factor is 20 times that of non-smokers. And that many of these companies know the risk of asbestos exposure, and it's significantly more dangerous for smokers, but just didn't care. The Lung Cancer Law Center has decades of experience in this field.
Okay.
If it happens, they can compensate you. cancer.
Pay it forward. So I take it you two know each other. That's nice.
Until the end.
If I find out I know you folks from Discord, I'm gonna love y'all even more. Okay. All right. Bill Bonnie, ask your question.
In Ukraine, the campaign for which the president has been impeached and which is now on trial. One part of what we did, the president's arrest in the Ukrainian government to announce investigations into Joe Biden. And what Parnas has been saying consistently that he is willing to tell Congress what he knows. Already he has handed over text messages, emails, handwritten notes, individuals, and in interesting detail, we know how this scheme is actually recently spoke out in a few media interviews, including one interview that I had with him yesterday. I was told me in that interview that the president quote knew exactly what was going on. And he told me in the interview that Thomas told me about a dinner that he said he
All right, Tatiana. Your first card is the Empress. Your second card is the Six of Cups. That's cool. And Nine of Swords is your third card. I've been doing this for over 20 years, Tatiana. So it's a life adventure for sure. Empress is your first card. I've been a psychic my entire life. So yeah. Oh, I knew when I was age 5 when my dad's dad came to visit me when he was dead. And then my mom came and woke me up in my bedroom to tell me that Grandpa Harper had passed. And I looked at her and said, I already know. Grandpa came to tell me. So that's when I knew I was at the very least the medium, you know. And then my abilities just started growing from there. I just knew stuff. I just knew things that people, you know, never told me. I just knew stuff. And then I started knowing other things. Uh, People would just walk by me. Having that gift has always been kind of a mixed blessing. You know, it's there are things I don't want to know. I'd rather not know. You know, or rather not have the answer to those situations. You know, there are people when I walk by them, I know things about them, good, bad, or whatever. Uh, and I rather just not know that. To be honest, I get these tingles about people. I call it my uh, I call it the yucks. And if I get the yucks about somebody, I know I don't want to be around that person at all. No, no, thank you. No, no, not no. They creep me out. And when they creep me out, I'm like, all right, I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt because maybe they're really a good person. Maybe my yuck radar is broken. Not all the time, though. No, I'm usually very accurate with that thing, and it's usually the eyes for me. Uh, yeah, I do readings based on my intuition, but what I do, I like to use the booklets from which the cards come from because I like to draw the inspiration from the gift of the person who made the decks because I think that they put a lot of effort into making these decks, and I love to honor each and every one of the decks I've ever used simply because. But yeah, I don't actually need the book. I just like to look at it, read what it says, and then I interpret based off of that. Because what happens is that the material from that gives me the energy I need to look closer at what you're asking. See, if you were here in front of me, I would have you ideally hold the cards in your hand. You would be shuffling the cards in your hand. And then I would briefly touch the deck while you were touching the deck, concentrate for a few seconds, and then take the deck from you and then start pulling the cards for you. Yeah, I mean, that's something that everyone that I have always known. I used to do these shows for people in a uh, I played this game called Reign of Blood. Okay, I know it sounds really creepy, but it was a vampire RPG game online, and I would do these. I would do this shows for people in the different covens or whatever that I was in, and people grew to just love me because I would do these shows for them. Yeah, really, and they loved me to do these shows for them because I would just straight up when it came to this part of the show where I would do cards for them. They liked it that I took my time to explain things and to walk them through it and let them know they weren't alone, that it was going to be okay, and you know that sort of thing. It is a confusing combo, yeah. If you think about it, because you have the Empress, okay, and then you've got the Six of Cups, and then you've got the Nine of Swords. But what I've learned over my many years of doing these things is sometimes even the most weirdest combination of cards have a story to tell. And when you get the story told and you bring them all together, they do have something to tell. But it's weird how the story gets there. That's always the weird thing because the guides are real tricky sometimes in how they're trying to get their point across. And then in some cases, the guides are just flat out not wanting to cooperate, not wanting to say a darn thing at all. And in the case of my guides love pranking me. They will spit out cards that make absolutely no sense. It's like they're speaking in tongues. You know, they're like, let's play a prank on Patrick today. Ha 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 ha. Ha. And let's just throw out some cards that make no absolute sense whatsoever and see how he reacts. On the count of three, 1, 2, 3. And then, here I am reading these cards. They are hilarious. Oh, Tanya, you have no idea how hilarious they are. Oh, you have no idea. And it's a whole pack of them, darling. And they're always messing with me. They are always they're always messing with me. They take turns too. They take their turns, but that keeps me sharp. So I no, so I have to keep on my toes with them. You start seeing him again with the Six of Cups. So okay, so yeah, yes, they have known me for a very long time, very very long time. Uh, very very long, very long time. So yeah, it is definitely their job to keep me aware, so to speak. So yeah, I tell you what, I haven't done this in a while, and let's see if my bag of tricks are still up to speed. Empress. I do. I also gain a few new ones every so often. I pick them up. They're like strays or something. No, I think they're deliberately sent to me. All right, and we have here the Empress, okay? So we know from a lot of spreads throughout history and everything, and throughout a lot of symbology, what the Empress is and what she represents to us personally and everything like that. She is actually a lady of power and nobility, uh, reasoning in some respects, and um, she represents a lot of emotions too. Okay, so she doesn't always represent the emotions of love or anything like that. No, but she has connections to that house. All right, a lot of people associate her with the planets of like Saturn or Venus or something like that. I won't go as far as to say that because that's not a truth I would attach to her per se. She represents one of the goddesses, that's for sure. Which one? There are so many different ones that she gets laid with. I'm not going to sit here and lay out the list of them, but she's got that deity lineage in her for sure. And that's why she gets to sit in the high cards because she's got that rank. So, what would she be doing in your card set for this question that you're asking? That is a good question. So, let's ask her. Empress, what are you telling Titania? And so my guides are going to help me help you. And I believe what she's telling you from her seat of authority. Titania, your gentleman that you are presently dealing with this is what's going on, okay? I think that this gentleman is close to you. You're close to him. Whatever is supposed to happen is going to happen. However it happens, right? So she's telling you from her seat, come and sit down, daughter, by me and listen to a story that's going to be told. So listen. Here's the familiar part of it. This one here, the Six of Cups. These two ladies right here, these two people right here, they're in love. They're bound. They're having a good time, right? They're just laying everything out on the table spread, so to speak. They're just laying everything out, you know? They're having a good talk. Look at them. They're having a good time. They're laying out the spread. They're in a wonderful garden setting, and they're just laying it all out there. It's the Six of Cups. It's a happy spread usually. Anytime you get this, it's usually not a bad spread. In any spread you get, this card's usually not a bad card to get. It never has been for me. I know a lot of people when they do these readings and they get this in their decks and everything, and they go, "Oh my God, it's the Six of Cups! Oh, it's going to be so terrible." No, no, you're not reading it correctly in the context in which it has been given. Even if it were upside down, okay? Even if it were upside down and it was shaking, no. If it was like this in a spread, no. Or this in a spread, or like that, or whatever form this card comes in, it's not terrible. It's not terrible. The fact is, this card is one of the more positive cards you're going to get in any tarot reading for the mere fact that it is the Six of Cups. It's about love. It's about pure love, honest love. It's in this imagery here. I love this deck because it gives the best imagery for this suit. Look at those two in the garden. They're having a great time. They're just genuinely just sitting there talking and conversing and being open, and there's six cups overflowing with the flowers and the water and the beautiful scenery of that garden, and the steps and everything. I mean, they get it. They get it. They're connected. They're bonded. They're going to be okay. The world's going to go on and do whatever the world's going to do. These two are fine. Now, you got the Nine of Swords. Yeah, you get the Nine of Swords, and then you see these. You see it looks gloomy. Now, again, imagery is everything with these decks. You're going to learn this over time as you get into the cards and everything. Imagery is everything. However, again, upside down, this way, that way, whatever. Okay, it's really, Titania, all in how you as a reader being respectful of the card deck and of your guides and of your intuition itself, how you interpret these cards and paying attention to the little booklets that come along with it of how the artist intended for these things to be interpreted. Here's the Nine of Swords. There is always going to be trouble in every relationship, no doubt. There is going to be conflict, there's going to be sadness, someone's going to get hurt. Both sides are going to get hurt. They're going to feel like that they're the injured party. They're the ones that are the wronged party. They're going to feel like it's the end of everything. Why should I be with this person? So here's what I'm going to tell you about this card in relation to your question. Should you or should you not? That depends on your intuition. What does your gut tell you? Is he worth it? Because in the end, you're the only one who holds the key to that box. It tells you the answer. This card right here gives you the answer right there. Look closely at that card, then follow it. Follow what the key tells you. It unlocks it, it opens it, and tells you the pathway to go. That's what I would tell you. Because nothing's ever perfect in this world. Exactly. Either way you go. And if this is not the person for you, exactly. That's it. If this is your person, then this is your person. If this is not your person, then it's someone else. And if it's someone else, it's going to be beautiful. Oh, you're welcome. Anytime you see me online, you're welcome to stop by. Everyone needs that though. Everyone needs that confirmation because we have to have it. If we don't have it, we really don't know if it's the right thing or not. Because if we don't know the right thing, how do we know that it's the right thing? That's cool. Very pleasant getting to know you too. Well, Miss Tatiana, it is time for me to go find a thing called a bed. Oh no, that's fine. I have no problem with that whatsoever. You too, my love. See you later.